Hello, Year 5 and 6. Welcome back to Monday's first of this week's reading lessons. Let me get my words out right. We are sticking with Pig Heart Boy, as we will be doing for the entirety of this half term. Our WALT today is to empathise with situations and experiences that others are dealing with. Slightly different. It's sort of got a PSHE kind of vibe, this reading lesson. When we talk about empathy and empathising, it's often confused with sympathy and sympathizing. And they are very similar. When we sympathize with somebody, we feel sad if they're feeling sad. We sort of can understand that we need to be nice to them, we need to try and cheer them up, we need to try and help them. We can see that they're not feeling very happy, or we can see that they are very happy. We can see and appreciate their emotion. But when we empathize with somebody, we don't just see the emotion that they're feeling and recognize it. We completely understand why they're feeling that way and what that feeling is like, because we can put ourselves in their position. And empathy is really important. If we're going to be the best versions of ourselves, then we need to be able to empathize with people when they're having difficulties, as we all do in our lives. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be empathizing with the character of Cameron and his experiences in this story. Obviously, he's our protagonist. He's the person who we're following most closely. He's also the person whose point of view we're seeing within the story. So what I would like you to do is, as we practiced last week, I'd like you to pause the video each page so that you have time to read over chapter 5. It's not the longest of the chapters, so hopefully you should be able to read over that fairly well. And then at the end, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what task I would like you to do. So I'm just going to go flick through the pages slowly, but if you pause at each point on the video so that you have time to fully read that page, or those 2 pages actually each time. Okay, if you can start doing that from here. Okay, just going to give you a moment to read that very last little bit. Sorry, not the last little bit. That's an extract that I've taken out. So that extract that I've taken out, I'm just going to read over that to you now. I'm going to start from the I longed for. So I longed for someone, anyone I could just talk to, someone who would listen while I said all the things that boiled and bubbled deep inside me, but which had never been said out loud. All the things that felt like molten lava, just waiting to erupt, and then, watch out. But that person didn't exist. It made me feel alone and very lonely. So we can sort of see where Cameron's coming from. He's in this position where his mum and his dad are trying. They are really trying. It's tearing them to bits what's going on and for worry, but they can't empathize with him. They can't put themselves in his position. And so he is feeling alone. So your reading task today is a little bit different. I'd like you to think about how Cameron would be feeling in this chapter. And that quote there, that's extract, really important. But I want you to be able to empathize with him. So what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to write down times when you have felt a bit like Cameron in that section there, in that extract. When have you felt like you've got these emotions and these feelings inside you that are bubbling up and they're just waiting to explode? And I'd like you to write that down as many of those times as you can, but I'd also like you to think about what helped. Because hopefully you're not feeling those emotions now. And if you are, maybe you could write them down and talk about what would help you now. But What helped in the past when you felt like everything was bubbling up and that you were going to explode? What helped you get over those emotions? So each time you write one, so you write, this is the emotion I was feeling, and this is what helped. This is the emotion I was feeling, this is what helped. If you are feeling comfortable enough to do this, you can then discuss those with somebody in your household. Because as Cameron begins to find out, being able to talk to, in this case, Dr. Bryce, being able to actually say things aloud helps him feel like he's taking control of his situation. And that helps him feel better. Okay, I'm going to leave that with you. So you're writing down times when you can empathize with Cameron, when you felt like everything is bubbling inside you and is going to burst out, and then what helped you in relation to that. And if you are comfortable doing so, if you could then share those with somebody in your family, that would be amazing. This is going to be one of those rare occasions where I'm not going to say you can't send anything in to me and to your teachers. I'd love to hear them if you are happy to, but these are quite personal things. So I don't expect you to necessarily share these with me, but I would obviously like you to be doing them. I have trust and faith in you that you will be doing these at home. But for now, that's everything for today's tutorial. Join me again tomorrow when we'll be reading the next chapter and when you'll be getting your next reading tutorial. But until then, from me, it's goodbye.